What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we are back with another Marvel Snap video. So in this video, I wanted to go through the top 10 worst cards in Marvel Snap. And I think this is important because as I was looking through this list, I'm like, some people might spend some of their valuable tokens on this list and not understand that they may actually be bad. But I do have some opinions and there's some nuance to be had about these quote-unquote bad cards. So I wanted to have a discussion. I thought it was pretty interesting as I looked through this list. All right, but before we get started, if you are new here, hi, my name is Chris, AKA Bootman, and if you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. I love doing videos like this, analyzing, different cards, different decks, trying them out, and just helping everybody get to infinite, and I can't wait for the competitive scene to start. I think that's gonna be really cool too. But anyways, we're growing this community. It's gonna be awesome, and you wanna subscribe because we're also almost at 4,000 subscribers, and we're trying to hit it by the end of the year. So, little Christmas present to me, today is Christmas Eve, so hit that subscribe button, join this community, and I promise I will provide you with some great content, all right? But anyways, let's jump into this. So, I was actually checking this out on Snap.fan. So go to Snap.fan. If you're not there yet, check out this website. If you're into data, analytics, stuff like that, check this out. There's also some other websites that I need to play around with a little bit more, like Marvel Snap Zone. I know the people over there are doing some really cool stuff. I also found another site called like marvelsnap.pro. But anyways, Snap.fan is the one that I started using. You can install like an app on your computer as well, and it like takes the data of your matches and you can go through and analyze those. Anyways, I'm using this site a lot. When I get a new card, I'll go here and see what kind of decks I can build with it. I'll also check out stuff like this where I'm looking at different cards. But anyways, you can go to the cards and then you can go to stats, right? And then you could filter them, okay? So I can go by the win percentage. I can go win percentage based on when they're drawn, when they're seen, all sorts of stuff. So I was looking at this and like, maybe I'll do a top 10 list of the best cards. But anyways, I started going through the worst cards. So let's break this down, and we're gonna start with number 10. We're gonna work our way back, all right? So first up, Adam Warlock. So this card, I've seen people use it, and like, I'm not a huge fan of this card. I haven't used him in any decks. I recently got him, all right? But I saw Milky Snap. I think Milky Snap when I tried his Guardians of the Galaxy deck. I didn't have Adam Warlock. But yeah, so anyways, his ability is at the end of each turn, if you're winning this location, draw a card. So me personally, when I'm up against an Adam Warlock, I try to put some power down on that card because clearly they want to draw it. So I think the fact that you have to be winning that location is a little bit of a weakness. But if you know my Majantress deck that I use to get infinite, I have a card in there that's kind of similar. It's Crossbones. You have to be winning a location just to drop that card. But Crossbones is also giving you 8 power at a location where this is just helping you draw cards and get to them from your deck. And it's like, I don't know if I'd like that so much. So number 10 makes sense to me. All right, next up is Crystal. So Crystal, I got her, I was like, ooh, like when I got her, I never even saw this card. And I was like, oh, this might be interesting. So Crystal's ability is, if this is at the middle location, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 3 cards. Now, if you were around in the beta, feel free to leave a comment down below. I believe I heard that Crystal was nerfed and she was actually better in the beta. But yeah, when I got her, like I think I literally just tossed her into a deck just so I can get some boosters and just level up my collection, but I've never used her like seriously. I've pulled her a couple times from random draws, and then if I do play her, I just toss her somewhere else. Like 4/4 card with this ability, like if you have a hand that's so bad that you wanna shuffle it, like in my opinion, you might wanna reassess your deck and see what's going on there because yeah, like I know we all get bad draws, bad hands sometimes, but I don't think I would want to waste like one of the 12 slots for this. Like if you have this in your deck, you're basically saying like there's a good probability I'm drawing bad cards. So like I said, I think you should reassess your deck. All right. So coming in at number 8, this is one of the reasons I want to make this video. Okay. Coming in at number 8 is my girl Magic. Okay. So my infinite deck, Majantress. The first part of that is magic, okay? This is an amazing card, and I am blown away that it is so low on here. So again, this isn't like just some subjective ranking. It's not like Snap.fan was like, hey, let's just rank these. No, this is listed as cards when played, and magic is, let's see, when she's drawn, a 46.37 win percentage, or 0.47, right? When in deck, 47 win percentage. So as you can see, like right here, so right here it says like the actual number out of all the cards in the game. So ranked like 191 when played, like what? What? Like this is a staple in my deck that has helped me get to infinite 2 seasons in a row. And that's very surprising to me. And I think the main lesson here is take everything I'm going through right now with a grain of salt. And I'm gonna dive into a little bit more of that with some of these other cards because I think they're kind of surprising as well. So magic, like, I don't know if I would necessarily spend tokens on her, but I can't tell you how many people tell me like, you know, they wanna try my deck or other decks and they're like, but I don't have magic. Like magic is a game changer. Like going from a 6-turn game to a 7-turn game, it does so much, it throws your opponent off, they're not expecting it. Most of the time, and here's why. I can make this whole video about magic, but I'm not. But here's why. When you're going into turn 5, and that's when you can play magic unless like, for some reason, you're able to get her at a lower cost, like with Elysium, is that the location where you get like -1 energy, or if you like ramp up to her or something like that, your opponent is in their mind, they're getting ready for a turn 5 and a turn 6, right? You drop magic on them. And what I've seen from my experience playing magic most of the time to reach infinite is even when you drop magic, they play their turn 6 like exactly the same. And that is terrible for your opponent. Because especially when my deck has Enchantress and it has Shang-Chi, like a lot of people just go in and continue to drop their high power cards or like their crazy ongoing cards. So Magic's an amazing card, no clue what's going on here. So this could be that people are tossing her into bad decks. I don't know what it is. Let me know your theories down in the comments below, all right? So next we have number 7, Sandman. So Sandman, it does make sense, I guess, but now that I think about it too, I wanna know like how often they're played too, because Sandman is a legit card, and I've seen some people playing him a little bit more. I first played him in I think an ongoing deck, and it's a great card. So his ability, for those of you who don't know, players can only play 1 card a turn. And this is great against decks, like think about this. Right now, part of the meta is Silver Surfer decks. Sarah on turn 5, and then turn 6, boom, they drop like a bunch of 3-cost cards at 2. Now, if you have Sandman on the board, they can only drop 1 at a time, right? Like that totally screws up their whole plan. When I've used Sandman, he's been very effective. Like when I use him, it's because I know how the other team's playing, and then your deck is built around only needed to drop 1 card at a time. But in my opinion, they need to buff Sandman. Like usually when a card is like this with, you know, 4 energy, 1 power, because that's one of his downsides, you can't play him until turn 4. So yeah, like in that scenario against Silver Surfer, awesome. But against like a zoo deck or like a bounce deck or something, you know, it's often too late because they've gotten everything out on the board. But yeah, I think they either need to drop his energy or boost his power, you know? Because when this is the only card you're playing on turn 4, like, although it's effective, like you pretty much just, like power-wise, you wasted a turn, you know what I mean? But I do think Sandman's good. In my opinion, again, like, would I spend tokens on him? Like, definitely not, but if they buffed him, I might. I really hope they're looking at him to possibly increase like his power or drop his energy just a scotch, all right? So next on the list is Hazmat. So this is kind of interesting, like Hazmat I don't think is a great card, but you're seeing her a lot more now that Luke Cage came out. But I also want to make a whole video about novelty decks, just novelty decks where, you know, they do something fun when like you get it out there. And like, listen, if you want to have fun and play, do your thing. Because what people are doing, obviously, is dropping Luke Cage, so none of your cards get like the negative effect of losing power, right? And then you have Hazmat, who drops all other cards -1 power. So they're going Wong into Hazmat, or like Wong, Mystique, Hazmat, and then you just go crazy on the other side of the board. That is a novelty deck. I have countered this deck so many times, especially with Enchantress. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many just counters to this. So why this card is ranked low totally makes sense to me. I wouldn't spend any tokens on this card. Like, Luke Cage was actually the first new card that popped up in my token shop. And I was like, oh man, I could do like the Hazmat thing. Yeah, you know? And then like when I looked at it and then I started playing it, I'm like, no way I'm gonna spend tokens, especially that many, because what is it, 3,000 tokens on Luke Cage just so I can have like some funny games, you know? Like, no thanks. That's not for me. That's not how I roll. So then another surprising card on here is Valkyrie. So Valkyrie, what is she ranked? Number 6 on this list. So Valkyrie is a new card. Set all cards at this location to 3 power. This is a gangster card. And again, like, this is where, and I need to do a video on books you should read if you want to get better at Marvel Snap, because I do think some of these rankings and win percentages are definitely a data problem. And if anybody from Snap.fan is watching this video by chance, we need to see the amount of times that these cards are played. Because Valkyrie, there's a lot of cards that are overhyped, and I think Valkyrie is not one of those. I see a lot of hype around her, but like, when people have played Valkyrie against me, like, that's when I get tilted, all right? It's almost like magic, right? Because Valkyrie, you are planning on using her for a reason. You've built a deck knowing Valkyrie might come out and she's going to set all cards at one location to 3. So like a Cerebro deck or whatever might work with her, right? Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here like a chump, and I've like done all this stuff on a lane, and then she comes out, turns all my cards into 3, and I'm screwed. So it hurts me, helps them. So I think there's something up with this. I don't know why this is ranked so low. My guess is not a lot of people have her yet, so we haven't seen her being able to play it in a bunch of different decks and all sorts of stuff. Again, like, maybe it's not good that I'm giving you all my opinion on what I would spend tokens on, because I'm very stingy with my tokens. It's so hard to come across. Like, I don't know if I would use her. Like, I would personally look around, see what kind of decks they're using, see if you'd have fun with her too, see if it works into like your play style, you know? But yeah, at this time, I don't know if I would play her, but I'm telling you this, if she popped up like from a random cache, you better believe I would be trying all sorts of decks to fit her in, because she's an awesome card. Next up, here's a surprise. This is another reason I wanted to make this video. Look at this. Look at this right here, okay? This is number 7, okay? Well, I guess the 4th worst card on this list is Null, all right? Null popped up in my shop, and I'm like, ooh, man, I want to pin this thing until I have 6,000 tokens. This is a fantastic card. It is probably like, when I looked at like the data mined upcoming cards, when I saw Null, I'm like, I need that card so bad. So do me a favor and let me know down in the comments down below, why do you think this is ranked so low? All right, so this is interesting right here. So when played, it actually has a 60% win rate. So what the heck is going on? Hold on one sec. We're gonna do some research here. So like, you're gonna jump into my data nerdery. So we sorted this by win percentage, all right? And we have Null right here. His win percentage is 44.88. But when he's played, so this must be some kind of average, right? So is he not being drawn enough? Because when drawn, he's at 45. In the deck at 44, but when he's played, so maybe he's ranking low on this just because he's not being pulled as much, which would bring up other questions like, why isn't he being played all that much? Oh, so, I guess that could be just because the archetype, the destroy archetype. Maybe people have him but aren't playing him because they haven't destroyed enough and there's something else to put out there. I don't know. But this is another one of those cards where I think as more people get the card, like we're gonna see him just skyrocket, all right? Because right now, I think the number one card, let's just check it real quick. The number one card is, nope, it is, right now, the number one card is Medusa. I'm guessing that's low, but I think it's, when played, the number one card is Galactus, all right? So think about that. When people start having Galactus and Null, it's gonna be a hot mess for a lot of us, okay? So Null being ranked that low, like, I don't know what's going on. Next up, Yellowjacket. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised here? Yellowjacket, afflict your other cards at this location with 0 power. Like, he's cool. Like, when I got Yellowjacket, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just play him on an empty lane. Doesn't, happen to anybody else because it's an on-reveal card. But, like, then when I think about it, I'm like, well, I would never in a million years, like, put him in a deck, Like, the only time I've played Yellowjacket, again, is to just get the booster so I can level up my collection. Or if it's a random draw, then I just throw them out there for like 2 power on an empty lane and then see what happens. But yeah, no surprise there. Okay, so second worst card is Agatha. That's also surprising. I cannot tell you how excited I am to get Agatha. I still don't have Agatha. I think Agatha can work decently, and maybe I will change my opinion once I get her. But there are decks, I think it was Mogwai, but a lot of people use the deck, so I don't know if Mogwai necessarily like invented the deck. But there are decks you can use that try to get Agatha out as soon as possible. Like, Agatha is a 614 card, okay? That is one of the highest power cards in the game. But the drawback is that she plays for you until she's out, all right? But let me give you an example. Just yesterday, I think it was, I was playing and somebody waved on turn 3. I'm like, oh, you dummy. Why'd you wave me on turn 3, right? Because as you know, I always say, like, wave is also a benefit to you when it happens, but obviously there's a reason they're playing wave. But they waved into Agatha, and Agatha comes out, and like, I think like it played Agatha, and then they played like Jubilee, and then just on a lane they had Agatha and Infinite. It was like over 34 power. I'm like, what do I even do with this? I didn't have Shang-Chi in that deck. But yeah, like, this is a 614 card. But there are decks, so just wait until I get Agatha. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play and see if my opinion changes. But a 614 card, and if you build a deck around getting her out as soon as possible, like having wave, right? Like, you're in good shape. All right, then the number one worst card is the newest card next to Darkhawk, and it's Sentry. So Sentry was actually in my shop yesterday. I obviously didn't pin him or grab him. I don't have enough tokens. But yeah, this is another one where I think the data, we don't even really have data for him. But like this, I think this will be a decent card as more people get him. Because, so cannot be played at the right location, so you can play him middle or left. Then on reveal, add an 8 power void to the right location. So this is a 4/8 card. So it's basically like Crossbones, okay? And I would probably take Crossbones over Sentry, but I can see this card working very well in a 0 deck. You know what I mean? Or in some type of destroy deck, because you put that void on the side, and then if you are able to like eat it with like Carnage or Deathlock, just get rid of that void, you got yourself a 4/8 card. And think about that, you combine that with Null, now Null's getting beefed up 8. Like, if you were to, oh, no, that wouldn't work with the -8, but if you were to eat Sentry, so you could work that into a destroy deck somehow. But anyways, I think Sentry's gonna be decent, but he was the number one. I haven't seen anybody play. Have you seen anybody play Sentry? Let me know. Let me know if any streamers or YouTubers have Sentry yet. I have not seen anything. Actually, right after I stop filming this, I might go check and see if anybody's been playing him yet. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I do. I go through and I look at this stuff. like I said, go to Snap.fan and you can check this out. You can sort it. Like right now, like I have it filtered in the opposite direction, and you have like Galactus, Silver Surfer, Hela, Odin, Infinite. These are all like the top cards. Death, Ultron, and those are interesting. And I do have some like things I wish Snap.fan would have, but I'll play around with it more, and I might do more videos like this if you guys like it, about how I use Snap.fan. But there are some things that this website does not do that I wish it did. Like, for example, like, unless I'm just not doing it right, like if let's say I got Galactus, just tomorrow for Christmas, I open up a cache, Galactus pops up. I'm like, oh my God. Like if I go down here, you see all the variants and everything, really cool. Shows you the synergy they work with. Then it shows you the meta decks, all right? Cool, cool. Meta decks, awesome. Then it shows you used in decks. The problem is that I cannot just search like all decks that he's used in and then search the decks with the highest win percentage. Like, I should be able to do that. I should be able to see, okay, now that I've found the card, now that I found the decks, I should be able to see the ones that he's working in the most. But anyways, that's just a preview for a future video I might do if you're all interested, okay? But anyways, let me know what your thoughts are down below about the 10 quote-unquote worst cards. What are your thoughts? Do you think some of these are like incorrectly ranked? Like what's going on here? Because like I said, like Magic being on this list blows my brain up. Null being on the list, I don't even know. You know, some of them make sense. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. And we're trying to hit 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we could do it. I think we're at like 3,400. So we're on our way there. All right, but anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna make another video right after this because I wanna try out a new deck. So stay tuned. But if I don't see you, have an amazing rest of your day, an awesome Christmas Eve, and I'll see you next time.